We're here to idea everyone, to fire up your curiosity and connect you with the people and ideas that shape our world. Watch, listen, understand, connect, create. Let's move the human story forward together.
Hello and welcome to The Poetry of Science, a podcast which provides insight into new scientific research via the medium of poetry. I'm your host, Dr. Sam Illingworth, and each week I'll be introducing you to some of the latest scientific findings and sharing a selection of science-themed poetry. After all, we could all do with a little bit more poetry in our lives. In this episode, I'll be exploring new research which has found that bottlenose dolphins form the largest alliance network outside of humans. Sleek frames glisten in the surf, iridescent blues and greys skimming waves with jutting beaks and toothy grins. Dorsal fins line up in pairs to start the dance, weaving overlapping couplets into living mosaics transcending kith and kin. Invisible nets cast between bonds to tie all together, networks of support, thrumming with success. This poem is inspired by recent research published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America, which has found that male bottlenose dolphins form the largest known multi-level alliance network of any animal other than humans. Cooperation lies at the heart of human lives and society, from day-to-day interactions to some of our greatest endeavours. Indeed, modern human societies strongly depend on high levels of cooperation between individuals, and almost everywhere, humans live in cooperative groups of varying size and type, from families to nations. Although cooperation is a widespread phenomenon in nature, human cooperation exceeds that of all other species with respect to the scale and range of our cooperative activities. Indeed, intergroup cooperation in humans has long been thought to be unique and dependent upon two specific features that distinguish humans from our common ancestry with chimpanzees: the evolution of both pair bonds, i.e. the strong affinity that develops between a mating pair, and parental care by males. In this new study, researchers have shown that male bottlenose dolphins form the largest known alliance network outside of humans, where the cooperative relationships between groups, rather than alliance size, increases male access to other females to reproduce. The researchers analysed association and consortship, short-term mating relationship, data to model the structure of alliances between 121 adult male Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphins at Shark Bay in Western Australia. Unrelated male dolphins were found to form first-order alliances of 2 to 3 males to cooperatively pursue consortships with individual females. Second-order alliances of 4 to 14 unrelated males were then found to compete with other alliances over access to female dolphins, with third-order alliances occurring between cooperating second-order alliances. During this study, each male was found to be connected directly or indirectly to every other male, and the duration with which males consort with females was found to be dependent upon being well connected with third-order allies, independently of the effect of their second-order alliance connections. In other words, alliances between groups increase access to females for the males, thereby increasing reproductive success. The findings of this study reveal that intergroup male alliances can in fact arise directly from a promiscuous mating system without pair bonds or male paternal care. This highlights that dolphin societies, as well as those of non-human primates, provide valuable model systems for understanding the evolution and development of human cooperation. Now that you've heard the science, let me read the poem to you again. Sleek frames glisten in the surf, iridescent blues and greys skimming waves with jutting beaks and toothy grins. Dorsal fins line up in pairs to start the dance, weaving overlapping couplets into living mosaics transcending kith and kin. invisible nets cast between bonds to tie all together, networks of support thrumming with success. In this section of the podcast, I like to share a poem written by another poet on a topic related to the science that has been discussed so far. In this episode, I'll be reading Dolphins at 7 Weeks by Rachel Jameson Webster. Rachel Jameson Webster is an American writer who was born in Madison, Ohio in 1974. She attended DePaul University in Chicago, Illinois, and then transferred to Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon, where she graduated with a BA in English Literature. She then earned her MFA from Warren Wilson's Program for Writers. Webster has published several chapbooks and collections of poetry, including The Blue Grotto, published in 2009, and Hazel and the Mirror, published in 2015. And her poems have been published in Poetry, the Paris Review, the Southern Review, the Madison Review, and other journals. She has received awards from the Academy American of Poets, the American Association of University Women, the Howard Foundation, and the Poetry Foundation. Webster now lives in Evanston, Illinois, where she is an associate professor in English and creative writing at Northwestern University. Dolphins at 7 Weeks by Rachel Jameson Webster. Inward lush, unpetling purpose in pink blooms of sleep, and I no longer need to separate. I was living there then at the edge of the sea, and my friends came to visit, trying for a baby, not sure how to read me on that island of dozy sunlight. And there it was. Familiarity edged with fear, the way we'd feed each other sandwiches and wonder if we should have wanted something other. We walked the folded cliffs over conifer fronds and mud-runneling rocks slick with dropped fruit and rotting camellias to pause at the first ridge. We looked through high pines at the blue moving tides, then his finger caught a snag in the water and another, and we saw glinting fins wheeling the sheen, thousands playing in pods, coming closer like the souls slippering into our bodies, attached to matter as flippers angle into a ferrying strand. We too are a species, I realised. We too could know that as joy. Thank you for listening to the Poetry of Science.
Thank you very much for being with us for this episode of the ideaXme show. ideaXme is a global platform. Our mission is to move the human story forward by sharing knowledge of the future. You can find us on all major audio networks at www.radioideaXme.com, on YouTube and Vimeo. Please subscribe.